Welcome to Joe's Astrology. This is a synastry reading for David Schwimmer on the left with no birth time and Jennifer Aniston on the right. And we can see that Jennifer Aniston has Mars in Scorpio, and David has Sun, Venus, and Neptune in Scorpio. So her Mars is right there with his Neptune, Sun, and Venus. And her Venus is in Aries. And his Mars is in Virgo. So first of all, this Mars in Scorpio, I don't like this Mars in Scorpio and as a synastry, in a synastry reading here. I don't like her Mars specifically touching the Sun and Venus. Certainly for a TV show, that might be fine, but in real life, I don't like that combination. Now she has her Mars conjunct Neptune here, and her Mars then would also is even closer of a conjunction with his Neptune. That's something that she's used to, having that in her chart, in her natal chart. Certainly that might be something that would correlate with meeting on a television set. Neptune, the acting, the television, and Mars being her energy, her drive in life, and there it's connected to that dream, that Neptune planet of dreams. So they would definitely be very compatible there between this Mars and Neptune. But again, more so for television. I mean, we can see going along with that theme, she has her Saturn at 21 degrees Aries, and his Uranus is at 22 degrees Virgo. So almost the same degree between Saturn and Uranus, making an inconjunct aspect. Why is that important? Well, because he also has his Saturn in exact opposition to that Uranus. So we see some compatibility there between Saturn, the work, and again, Uranus being something that correlates with television, technology, television. The Sun, she has the Sun here in Aquarius. His Sun is in Scorpio, not very compatible. He would be much more emotional. Now she does have, if we look at her chart, she does have some water in her chart, some emphasis on the emotional life. However, we can see the Sun, if we look just at the Sun, she would be far too practical. We can even see she has that Mercury in the 4th house, and it's in Aquarius where it's exalted. So very strong emphasis on the conscious mind, where he has his Mercury in Sagittarius. More of an emphasis on the superconscious mind. So he would be, in a relationship, would be a little bit more of a feeler. And she would be more just living life more on the practical side, more in her head, more based on the facts of life. Now, as I said, she does have some water. She has this Cancer ruling her midheaven. So we could see some emphasis on Cancer, family, the emotional life in her work life. And we could say that this person was, as part of the family, so to speak, both being on the same television show that became like a family. And even that Mercury and Sun being in the 4th house her Jupiter is in Libra, and his Jupiter is in Leo. So that would be a sextile aspect between those two. However, with Jupiter in Libra, I think that here that she would be somebody who wants to relate to different people, to learn about, to really learn from life, to learn about philosophy. Where he is going to be more with that Jupiter in Leo, more concerned about his self, more concerned about his creativity, how he can show himself off. Which that kind of goes, I would say that kind of goes together, because she might kind of defer to him in those circumstances. The nodes, if we look at the nodes, his south node in Scorpio, her south node is in Libra. It's in Libra moving into Virgo. So I really see no compatibility there for sure. He's going to be more concerned about, probably more concerned about his career, more concerned about the money. She's going to be more concerned about the relationships. Someone like her would be living life. I think I even heard her say this in an interview, how she couldn't believe that her life is the way it is. Where he would be more intentional. He would definitely be more knowledgeable or more conscious of that aspect of his career. Like he's probably actively trying to seek out that career that he had and improve that career, where she's just kind of going with the flow. North node in Aries over here for her, again moving towards Pisces. North node in Taurus for him. Even with that North node moving towards Pisces, it's like, with it being in Aries, it's like she's really putting herself out there, and then she finds herself in this acting world, dream world, etc. Whereas he is actively pursuing money for a reason, for a good reason, for his purpose in life. And I would say those two things could become incompatible, certainly because she would want to stay in that space of going with the flow, living that Pisces kind of like dream life, where he would want to be more practical. Even though I said earlier that she was more had maybe more of a scientific or intellectual mind. That's probably a better way to put it than a practical mind. She's probably more intellectual, more scientific. It's really hard to say that though, because he does have all that Virgo. This definitely is an interesting chart to look at for synastry, if we could see them in real life together, what that would play out like. Her moon is in Sagittarius. We'll say, if we say his moon is in Cancer, somewhat compatible. We see the inconjunct between Cancer and Sagittarius, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. You can look at these charts for yourself. I'm not going to say much more. I know probably isn't the best synastry reading, but I think this seems like it's one of those two charts. You have to look at it a little bit more deeper than surface level. I really would like to see his chart with the birth time, because it's almost like, with just the signs, we see some incompatibility between the two, but then when we throw in the houses, it becomes more of an interesting dynamic between the two. So let me know down in the comments if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, and maybe I'll do another follow-up later on. Hope you enjoyed this mini synastry reading for David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston.